Coming up on Mastering Cosplay. What did people do to you?
So this one guy just came up to me, started insulting my cosplay. No, this isn't canon.
It's very interesting to see them sometimes out of cosplay because they dress completely different.
Yeah, a totally different person.
Yeah, like a completely different person.
That you may like or may not like.
Yeah.
Cosplay, the practice of dressing up as a character from a film, book, or video game. Do I know what it is? No way. But I'm ready to delve deep into the cosplay community and discover what inspires them. You will learn words like fandom, closet play, mashup, and gender bending. I'm even contemplating dressing up in my first cosplay for Comic-Con, if I'm convinced. I'm Miles Cloutier, and if you want to be wowed, stick with me. Let's go. I'm here in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg to meet with Salman, who's another cosplayer, and I'm really interested to hear his story. Cottage 1.
Hi,
Hey, Salman, Miles.
Miles, nice to meet you.
Hey, good to meet you.
Come on in, let's get started on the stoop.
Cool. Salman, tell me when you started in cosplay.
So I started cosplaying in 2018 for the first Comic-Con Africa. I wore a Max Caulfield t-shirt from a game called Life is Strange. I never really knew that cosplay was so big here in South Africa, so that's why I just wore the t-shirt thinking, okay, there's not going to be any cosplay, so I'm not going to bother. But then when I arrived at Comic-Con Africa, just seeing all the amazing cosplays, I was just like, okay, no, I have to start. The next convention, I'm starting.
Tell me about your first real costume.
So my first real costume was for Rage Expo 2018. I made a Bakugo cosplay from My Hero Academia. I also wore a Todoroki wig. It wasn't so perfect, but that's how I started.
What did the wig look like? Was it like short and spiky?
Yeah, it was short with half red, half white. So it wasn't a canon cosplay. It was just like my own fan version of the cosplay.
So in your first real outfit, how did you feel?
I felt extremely nervous.
Okay.
I never have any friends in cosplay, so it was really nerve-wracking there at the convention. I was even harassed
What do you mean harassed?
because of how my cosplay was. Like, it wasn't up to standard.
Was it not an accurate reflection of the character, or had you added different elements to it?
I added different elements to it, and
people
it
weren't
wasn't.
and people weren't unhappy
weren't
with that.
happy.
What did people do to you?
So this one guy just came up to me, started insulting my cosplay. No, this isn't canon. How can you put Todoroki's wig on a Bakugo cosplay? Your cosplay is missing this, it's missing that. And you Indian, how can you cosplay a white character? Meanwhile, the character's Asian. So yeah, so I just decided, okay, I'm just going to ignore him. And
I think
just
you
walked
should have
away.
challenged him to a duel.
I should have, but it was my first time, so it was like
I
extremely
understand.
nerve-wracking
I
and
understand.
stressful.
I think there's rules against that now. But yeah, that seems pretty harsh, man. So after that, were you ready to come back again, or?
No, I wasn't. I had to like step up my game. I had to like try to figure out why am I cosplaying? Who am I cosplaying for? Is it just for show? Is it just as a hobby? Do I want to go professionally? All of that. So then I made a very nice friend, Mandy Cosplay. So she helped me get back into cosplay.
How do you feel looking back at that point? Do you forgive that person, or?
Yes, I do forgive that person because knowledge on cosplay, it's like so limited here in South Africa. There's still tons of people that don't know what cosplay is, why do we cosplay, and all that. So I don't really blame them for not really understanding the real meaning behind cosplaying a character.
Tell me about respect. What does that mean to you in cosplay, and when you take a character and represent a character? How do you pay respect to that character?
So to pay respect to a character, all you have to do is don't paint your skin color a human color, like black brown or make yourself lighter, like way lighter and stuff like that. And also don't tape your eyes to look more Asian. That will
Okay.
be like really disrespectful to the community because skin color and race is not a cosplay.
Could you tell me more about the skin color thing then? So you wouldn't change the skin color of a character?
Yes, I wouldn't change the skin color for my cosplay. So if I cosplay, let's say a darker character, a black character,
Yes.
like Prince Nivan from Princess and the Frog, let's say, for example, I wouldn't necessarily make myself darker, like put on darker foundation, because that would be extremely disrespectful. It would be considered racist because it's a human skin color. It's called blackface. So you're
Okay.
not allowed to blackface. Yeah.
So tell me about the type of characters you pick.
So I mostly pick characters that I relate to, like if I maybe have the same personality as them, if I can maybe relate to a situation that the character had in the movie or series or anime. So I really pick mostly those type of characters that I relate to.
What are you dressing up as for Comic Con this year?
So for Comic Con this year, I'm going to be cosplaying a character that I'm also doing today now, Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then I'm also a really big fan of Genshin Impact, so I really want to get a Genshin Impact cosplay. And then I think we're doing a Sailor Moon group.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to either do a gender bend cosplay where I'm cosplaying a male version of the character in
Okay.
Sailor Moon.
Are there male Sailor Moon characters?
No, there's no
It was
male.
just
so
female characters.
It's just female
Is
characters.
it just like the four of them? I only know because my sister had it up on her wall.
I myself never watch the show, but I'm doing it for a friend's birthday party. So we're going to have like a mini birthday party at Comic Con on the Saturday.
Okay.
So we all decided, okay, you know what? Your favorite character is Sailor Moon, so why don't we do like a Sailor Moon theme party at Comic Con or something?
Cool. So are you competing at all at Comic Con?
No, I'm not competing.
And do you have any interest in competing in the future?
I did compete in 2 competitions before, but it never really worked out. I felt myself more stressed, more overwhelmed in cosplay, and that wasn't the feeling that I wanted in cosplay. For me, cosplay is just for fun.
So the last time you were at Comic Con, what did your day look like?
So a typical day would look like a really long queue to enter the venue of Comic-Con Africa. Yeah, so then you enter, you start looking around, looking at the vendors that's there. So I'm mostly interested in anime and gaming. I mostly look out for like merchandise, for action figures, for maybe sometimes I'll look for comic books and whatnot. I'll look for games, controllers. Yeah, and then after I scout through the vendors, then I meet up with the cosplay community. At Comic Con Africa, there is a thing called Cosplay Central where cosplayers can meet up. So I try to join as much groups as I possibly can so that I know that I'm never alone during a convention. So then we'll hire a photographer or something. We'll take some photos during the day as a group. And yeah, that's basically it.
You don't like to go to conventions alone, do you?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
It's extremely lonely, for one. And then also, like sometimes when you're in cosplay, because there's not really much information on cosplay, there's a lot of non-cosplayers that think just because you dressed up in a cosplay, it means we have given you their consent
Like
to
they
take
expect
photos and stuff.
they expect you to entertain them.
Yes, they just expect you to entertain them. Like even while you're eating, they'll just come at you and take photos and whatnot. Or
Okay.
yeah, or they'll just get like touchy with you and stuff like that. So when you were in a buddy system with a person, you don't really see much of that because you at least have someone to back you up if you're ever in that type of situation.
And I wanted to ask you, what does your family think about your hobby?
It's like mixed reviews. Like some Like when I just started, they were really excited for me that I finally have a hobby instead of just sitting at home doing nothing.
Did you collect anything to do with your hobby?
I tried to collect like weapons, like swords,
Are they like
daggers.
big props? Or?
Yes, like props and whatnot. That I try to collect. Like, even if I don't cosplay as the character, it's just something cool to have, just laying there in your room and just to look at.
So you have an outfit for me today.
Yes, I do.
And would you get dressed up for me and show me?
Yes, I will.
Okay, cool.
I'll see you in a bit.
All right. Now, Solomon, who are you dressed as?
Okay, I am cosplaying as Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And how do you feel?
I feel powerful.
You know, you're a pretty big guy. I mean, you're bigger than me. You must feel powerful normally.
Not really. I'm kind of like an introvert when I'm out of cosplay, so.
But now you feel different.
But now I feel different
Would
because
you-
I'm out of my comfort zone and everything. So
Would you say it makes you feel like more of an extrovert?
it makes me feel more of an extrovert.
Now, how are you feeling about Comic-Con this year?
Comic-Con, I'm so excited. We must do, I think, 2 years worth of Comic-Con. So now that it's finally back, I'm extremely excited and I can't wait.
You're meeting lots of people there. You're meeting your friends there. And your outfit, will you be wearing the same outfit every day?
No, I'll just be wearing it for one day for the Thursday of the Comic-Con.
Let's talk about your costume. You've made all this yourself, haven't you?
Yes, I made everything by myself except for the shoes, the pants, and the t-shirt that I didn't make, but the rest of the outfit I made from EVA foam, and I also used foam clay.
And how long did it take you?
It took me about 2 years because I was doing it like on and off, so it wasn't something that I was doing like all one
It wasn't
go.
full-time for 2
Yes,
years.
because cosplaying is quite expensive, so the budget isn't really there. So maybe like 1 month I'll buy the EVA foam, the next month I'll buy the paint, next month the glue. So I split it up so that it can meet my budget.
Could you tell me maybe how much money you've spent on this whole outfit?
I think about 3,000 Rand.
So you've spent like about $200 on the outfits.
Yes, because I made a lot of mistakes along the way, so I had to redo a lot of parts. Even like right now, I need to like redo some parts just so that they can fit properly.
Is this an accurate representation of the character?
No, it's not an accurate representation of the character. I actually discovered an artist named Tania Marios. So she's the designer of the art for this cosplay. So then I just took her art design and turned it into a cosplay.
And what's your favorite part about this costume?
My favorite part of this costume is definitely this area here by the crotch. So because this took some time to do because I had to like cut up foam in really, really small pieces and paste it together. And it took a lot of time and energy.
And could you tell me why you like this character so much?
So I grew up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender from small. Even up till now, I still watch Avatar. And it's just one of my favorite shows. And Zuko is just someone that I relate to. So in the series, you always ask the questions of who am I? Like that's like the big storyline behind him. Even though he's a villain, there's still that question of who he is. So that is really something that I relate to because I'm still discovering who I am, who I want to be. And I don't mind taking my time discovering all of that.
I think that's a very good answer.
Now, as a
It's 45 days to Comic-Con Africa, and Master Brendan is giving us a one-on-one on cosplay tricks and tools.
And yeah, how it all comes together. So we're going to start off with some of our EVA foam for this. We're going to start with some cutting.
I'll sometimes
Terry takes us down memory lane in her garage.
And and I made this for a Lord of the Rings festival. This got quite some buzz on Instagram.
And Tifu toys with cosplay possibilities.
Because this is so much more than what you actually planned to do. Yeah.
I know, but I think I'll sleep on it.
So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be showing you how some of these different tools and materials work. So we're going to start off with some of our EVA foam for this. We're going to start with some cutting. So for doing big cuts, I like to use the box cutter, and we're just going to go ahead and make sure that our blade is sharp. We're then just going to go ahead and using the cutting mat, we're just going to cut a few pieces. So for the purposes of this, we'll maybe make a small little box. So when it comes to cutting your pieces, sometimes you don't always want to have straight edges. You don't always want all your pieces sticking together flat like this. Sometimes you want a little bit of an angle, so you can go ahead and you can angle your blade at a 45 degree or a 60 degree or whatever angle it is you want to cut. And instead of cutting straight on like that, you just angle it like that at a 45 and cut through. And you can see here the comparison between the two little edges. This one's at an angle and this one is a straight cut. And so when they're glued together, instead of gluing together flat on, they will come at an angle like so. So now we've got our two pieces here, which we want to connect together. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of our contact cement, which we've got in our easy applicator bottle. And the way that contact cement works is you put it on both surfaces that you want to glue together, and then you actually let it dry on each surface. And then when they touch together on contact, that is when the bond takes place. So we're just going to go ahead and pop some of that on our edges, like so. And you just spread it across like that. Make sure you're getting nice, good coverage on each piece. Just like that. And then you need to let them dry for a little bit. And depending on the weather, it can take anywhere between 1 or 2 minutes to 10 minutes if it's an extremely cold day. Okay, so now that we've given our glue a couple minutes to dry, we can go ahead and attach these pieces together and set up that bond so that they will be stuck together forever. So you can just go ahead and lightly touch them together. And then once you've got them in the right position, you can add a bit more pressure to really make that bond take. And as you can see there, we've got our two pieces that are stuck together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a slightly smaller piece of foam out of this little 2mm craft foam. And this piece is generally used if you want to add some details to a piece. So we're not making a whole piece now, I'm just showing you how the different materials and tools work. So we're going to cut like a nice little panel piece to come in here with maybe some more details. So just go ahead and draw that piece out. Maybe we want to put some little vents on it so it looks like it is a vent on a sci-fi piece. So you can just go ahead and draw some vents and cut those out once again with our X-Acto blade. Okay, so now we've got this piece cut out, we can just go ahead and stick it on there. Apply some to the surface where we want to put it on. And generally, you don't want to put this glue on too thick. You'd rather have a nice thin layer that dries quickly than too much glue that just takes forever to dry, because then you won't get a nice consistent surface across it for gluing it together. The thinner your coat is, the faster your glue will actually dry so that you can stick the pieces together. So now that our pieces have the glue's dried, we can just go ahead and pop them on just like that. And just by adding something simple like that, you can see you've already added a bit more detail to it, and the use of layers has made it a bit more interesting. The next thing what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and use our Dremel, and we're just going to round over the edges so it looks a bit cleaner and has a nicer effect to it. And remember, whenever using a Dremel, safety first, and because we are going to be making dust, I've got the dust filter in my mask.
Hi! Nice to see you again. Get it? See you. I'll stop. Welcome back to my home, and today we're going to be answering the question of what does a cosplayer do with all of their costumes? Where do they store them? Well, I'm going to regret doing this, but I'm going to show you guys how and where I store my costumes. So come with me. So this is where it is. I've got to lift with my knees. So this is where I store all of my stuff. It's not exactly glamorous. It's not exactly what you'd see on a Pinterest board, but it works. These are all of my panniers where I keep all of my cosplays. Some are all squished into one, and then some that are very special have their own panniers. And this is where I keep all of my props. It's much safer to actually have them on display, but some of these are not mine. I was gifted this amazing Shira sword from Kenpatsu Cosplay before she immigrated, and some of these props were made by some dear friends of mine who are also in the cosplay community, who helped me out when I was still learning how to cosplay and still, you know, learning my skills at making props and things. And I'm sure a lot of you want to know, where do I store my wings? So this was my Angel of Death from Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. It looked amazing on, but as you can see, behind every good cosplayer is a lot of duct tape and a lot of staples. And then these are real feathers, and then these ones are foam. I painstakingly dremeled every single bit of these into the feathers and made all the details with a Dremel machine. I then had to go to physio because I actually got like a bad shoulder from doing that. And then I made the eyes out of clear plastic balls that you'd use for like Christmas decorations and things, and painted them from the inside. Funny story though, I had to start all over again with one side of these wings because my dear dog Luna, who was a puppy at the time and biting everything in sight, thought that this would make a good chew toy and destroyed one half of the wings 2 weeks before Comic-Con. So that was stressful. Not something that I had like planned for with time. But as you can see, I managed to get it all sorted out. And then this one is my Hawk Girl wings. These, as you can see, compared to the other wings, I started to learn some tricks and improve on making my wings. So these ones here, I actually tucked in little bits of feather down in between each feather, which makes it look a lot more realistic. And I made a nice, comfy, padded back foot on my back so it's not too uncomfortable. And I hide all of my sins behind this very nice curtain. But this is basically all my fabrics. Any little scrap of fabric I have goes into these panniers and these boxes here, but I don't know where or how I'm going to use them. They go into these boxes. And most of the time I actually end up digging out of these boxes again and using them. So it's very handy. Don't throw away your scraps.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm fine.
Are you Heidi?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, great. I heard so much about you and this place, and wow, it's amazing, it's great. I want you to help me create a cosplay because I'm entering Comic-Con Africa competition this year.
That's
happening.
amazing.
Yes.
And so what do you want to be?
I want to be Neytiri from the movie Avatar.
Oh, wow, that's nice. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. Did you do any research on it or not
Well,
really?
So far, I would want to do body paint, like, you know,
Yes.
body paint. And
So
then
you're
you
not
could-
scared to show a little bit of body?
No, not
Okay,
at
that's
all.
amazing. Well, you've got the body. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
I
I
can-
need help with just the accessories and the ears and, you know, so I don't know how you would help me.
I'm a costume and a fashion designer, so I can design something very nice for you. I've got some avatar costumes,
Okay.
so I can show you that, but they're a little bit old, so I think if you want to do body paint and all that, I can design something very nice that you can wear. And I was working on for Comic-Con, you know, to sell there. I'm working on a couple of ears, and there's a pair of blue ears. So these are all like pixie-like ears and things that we're working on. So you put them on and they're really comfortable. So you just hook them on, and there you go. So how do they feel?
They feel good. Okay.
I made a really special, beautiful sea creature costume, and I would like to see how you're going to look in it.
Great.
I'm here in Western Johannesburg to meet with Moose, who has a number of different characters, and she's also going to have to explain that name to me. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Miles.
Nice to meet you, Miles. I'm Moose.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. You're going to have to tell me about your name.
Of course, come through.
Cool.
So the name Moose Chester basically comes from two different sections of fandoms. So Moose comes from the character from Step Up, which is Moose, the guy that dances a lot. And it was given to me in high school because they were like, you remind me of Moose from Step Up. And I was just like, okay, this is going to be my name now. And then basically Chester comes from Winchester, which is from Supernatural, and I just mashed it together. And it basically became my name.
Okay, cool. So that is mashup.
Yeah, a mashup of two different things.
Now, how did you start in cosplay?
I started watching people do cosplay in like 2015. And then I didn't really think that I could do it because like there was a specific set of people that were doing it, and I wasn't like, oh, I can do this.
The cool kids.
Yeah, and then eventually I was like, oh no, but I'm seeing different people are starting to do it. So then I was like, okay, let me try it. And I think it started off when I was in high school because our school had a book day where they were like, okay, dress up as like a character from whatever you want. And then I picked a random anime character and I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Put on the outfit and then had like the little symbol and stuff, and it basically went up from there.
Have you ever competed in cosplay?
Never. It was too scary for me and I get stage fright very easily. So it wasn't something that I was comfortable with doing. So I just left it.
Do you have stage fright now?
Not really.
See, that's good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Would you like to compete someday?
One day, if I feel more comfortable and I know I can make my own cosplay, then I would. But for now, I'm just relaxed and enjoying it as like a hobby.
Could you tell me more about your motivation for cosplay? For you, what is your experience when you dress up?
My experience is it makes me feel really cool. So like if I'm dressed up as like a specific character, I can become that character, and it helps me, I suppose, get in tune with my emotions. Like I can become, for example, just random, I can become Darth Vader if I wanted to, and then use the Force in my mind and just be comfortable with myself.
Have you been Darth Vader before?
No. It would be cool to be Darth Vader.
Do you choose the baddies or the superheroes?
Baddies.
Why is
Always
that?
the villains. Because they're just so hot.
How are they hot? Aren't they usually like ice cold, like tough? What is attractive about us?
I don't know, I think it's just like the look and like the expressions that they give. So it's like very, I don't want to say degrading, but it's very like exciting to see like how the villain's gonna try and like, you know, destroy the hero or the world. And I think that's really interesting.
Do you give life to the evil in your character?
I try to, if I can.
And how do you do that?
It's a very long process of trying to get into character, and I try and like think, okay, what would he do if he was in this situation? So if I was Loki from Marvel, I would be like, okay, what mischief can I catch up to? What can I do to irritate my host?
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, like tie people's shoelaces together or whatever.
Stuff like that. Just like silly little things that would probably tick people off, but would still be really funny in the long run.
So this is interesting because with cosplay, it's not just about the costumes. It's so much about the personality and the character, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to think that, because you can recreate things that like normally you'd only see on TV. So you bring it to life, and like you can go to like a convention and people would be like, oh, you're this character, and people are just like, wow.
Do something for me, right?
Yeah. And people get really happy because they're like, I can never experience this anywhere else but with a cosplayer.
Are you also a little bit evil in your real life?
I try not to be. Unless someone like pushes me, then I'm just like, hey, like, back up. I'm not handling this right now. And yeah, I try not to take anyone's slander, if I can put it like that.
I'd like to talk about how you fit into the community. Do you do your stuff online? Do you meet in person? Like, what is it like for you, the life of a cosplayer?
So I do a lot of my stuff online because I started during COVID. So during COVID, I wasn't actually allowed to really go out like anyone else. And I basically made a lot of friends through TikTok and Instagram, and it was a very interesting time. So I made like a lot of foreign friends that do cosplay, and then obviously the local ones, and it basically became like a whole group. And I was happy to like finally meet them all in person, because it was, I think before COVID, slightly before, I went to this convention called Geek Fest, and I met one of my cosplay mutuals.
What's a mutual?
So there's a person
Are they
that,
in like the same book or something?
no, it's like a well-acquainted person, like you're acquainted with the person, but you're not friends with them.
A mutual.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard that expression before.
Yeah, it's someone that you connected with online that you spoke to briefly, and then you were like, okay, let's meet up, and then you were able to meet up.
But you're like, hey, we're not friends yet.
Yeah.
We're just like mutual.
Yeah, so you're like dipping your toes into it to see
Into
like
maybe
if it's
seeing
okay.
if you could be an acquaintance for
Yeah.
a period of time.
I mean, we can refer to each other as friends, like if
I'm
we
just
hit it
teasing you.
off.
But tell me more about like meeting people.
It's very interesting to meet people in cosplay, because depending on the context and where you go, so for example, when I went to Geek Fest for the first time, it wasn't stressful because I was around people that was like, okay, this is very interesting. We know each other kinda, but not really. And you're able to like bond with that person because you're like, oh, okay, we're both cosplaying and we're both able to create something interesting between one another, kind of.
With your friends in the community, do you ever do meetups?
Yeah, we try to as much as we can, because a lot of people are very busy, so it's very hard to make like a proper meetup kind of deal. But when we do, we all very happy and relax with each other and in cosplay or out of cosplay, depending on.
So you do both. You might
Yeah.
not dress up. You might
Yeah.
just be normal
Yeah.
people, normies.
Yeah.
What about when you meet people in person? Are you ever surprised or not recognize someone that you might know?
It's very interesting to see them sometimes out of cosplay because they dress completely different.
Yeah, a totally different person.
Yeah, like a completely different person.
That you may like or may not like.
Yeah, which varies.
Maybe you prefer them as their character.
Yeah.
Now, could you tell me more about your characters? You said you're attracted to the evil side of things, but where do you get your inspiration from? Are they original characters? Are they characters from stories and comics?
So some of them are characters that I have thought up of, but like I just write it down, so like they don't have like a physical form just yet. But other characters are from books and from movies and series and stuff like that. So.
And why do you create your characters? Are you taking them out to a conference somewhere, or are you doing something online?
It's usually for online stuff because I like seeing people create content. So I'm like, let me create content and see if I can make people happy. So it's not really for money or fame or whatever. It's just to make sure that, like, you know, if people see my videos, then they'll be happy. So that's the only reason why I do cosplay, because it brings joy to other people and not just myself.
Now, tell me about this new costume you have.
This new costume is Kaya from Genshin Impact. It's not an accurate representation of his actual outfit, but it's how I envision him to dress if I was him. So the trench coat is from my mom's closet.
This is a trend?
Yeah.
Not the first time?
Not the first
What
time.
does your mom think about you taking all her clothes?
My mom just looks at me, she's like, it's fine, do what you want, it's okay.
Could you tell me what you plan to do next in cosplay?
So I'm going to Comic-Con, so that's going to be my next cosplay endeavor.
It's your first Comic-Con?
Yeah, my very first.
But you've done other conferences in the past, the Geek Fest?
Geek Fest, Rage, but I never cosplayed for Rage, but I did cosplay for Geek Fest. So I cosplayed Castiel at that time.
Right, but this is your first Comic-Con.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
Meeting all my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Are they
of-
all going to be there in South Africa?
I hope so, yes. And dressing up as my favorite characters as well.
What are you going to be doing in 4 days of Comic-Con?
A lot of cosplaying and running around.
Did you have just one costume?
No, so I have 4 different cosplays lined up.
We're getting closer to Comic-Con. I don't have a costume yet. I have a couple options. Do you have one for me?
Are you familiar with Aquaman?
I am, yeah.
So then maybe that's your best bet, because Aquaman would suit it.
All right, so you're going to dress up for me?
Yes!
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Wow, the transformation.
Very long process.
Kai, can you show me your moves? And so tell me about how you feel in character now.
I feel very powerful and very flirtatious.
Flirtatious. Okay.
Yeah.
So what might change? Does your demeanor change, your movements?
My demeanor and likely my movements depending on whether or not I have a prop. But currently I have no prop, so just demeanor.
And so your character is a gender bent character.
If that's what the people see, then yes.
And have you made some feminine changes to the character?
Somewhat, yes, because of obviously my body shape. The corset makes it look very skinny and well fitted, so yeah.
And is this a true, perfect representation of the character?
Appearance-wise, somewhat, but he also does not dress exactly like this. He has a different kind of outfit, but this is initially what he would wear.
But you've changed a few things,
Yes.
but I mean, this is the idea.
Yeah.
And people will recognize you as that character.
Hopefully.
Would you consider it a very popular character?
A very popular character.
So you're going to be popular at
I
Comic-Con.
hope so. Getting stopped every 2 minutes. just
Signing
like-
autographs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you probably just walk up on stage, they won't stop you.
Yeah.
And you're also looking forward to meeting people in person at Comic-Con, right?
Yes, definitely.
And so you have some friends you're going to meet up with there?
Yeah.
Well, I look really forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for everything and teaching me what you have. And I look forward to seeing you there.
Look forward to seeing you too.
Cool.
Okay, so there we have it. We've gone ahead and we have cleaned up all the little edges on this piece just so it looks a bit neater. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna use the heat gun. In addition to the heat gun also being used to make the foam more flexible so that it can stay in position, is it also does something else. It does a technique what we call heat sealing. So EVA foam, by its nature, is an open cell foam. And what that means is, in all the complex chemistry and physics of how the foam is made up, it's got all these little pores in it. that are just open to let air flow into it, and it allows its flexible nature. But by heating it, what happens is the foam actually shrinks and melts in on itself, and so the outer layer of those cells close up. And so when you then go to paint your piece later, the pieces doesn't just absorb all the foam like a sponge with water, but rather the paint stays on the top layer of the foam, so that you're not having to put on 10 layers of paint to get decent coverage on the foam, but only 1 or 2 layers of paint. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to heat this piece with the heat gun quickly and seal it up, and also get rid of any little fuzzy bits left over from the dremeling process. And because we're going to be heating the foam, I'm going to use my mask game, but I'm going to change out the dust filter for the chemical filter because of the fumes given off by the foam. So the way how you'll know when your foam is finished being heat sealed is you'll be able to see the little cells closing up. So you'll see when you look at it before it's heat sealed, it's got a bit of a matte texture, but once you've hit it with the heat, it takes on almost like a shiny, smooth texture. So that's how you know that it is ready to start having your paint primer or your paint on if you're just doing heat sealing. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more detail. So something that I love doing whenever working on sci-fi builds is I love adding rivets, because it's just something that really helps to add more detail and tell the story of the piece. So my go-to whenever it comes to adding little rivets to my pieces is little googly eyes, because they are easy to find, they're cheap, and they make great little rivets once they're painted silver. I'm going to use this CA glue or super glue just to add a little dot wherever I want to attach these rivets, because I don't need a huge area of contact adhesive for something that's this small. Now that we've finished adding these little details to the piece, we're going to get to my favorite part of the cosplay making process, and that is the weathering and battle damage process. And the reason I love it so much is because this is the part of building a cosplay where you really get to tell the story of the costume. Maybe by adding paint or something, we're not going to do the painting weathering now, but we're going to do the battle damage. You get to show maybe a piece was dropped in the mud and just hurriedly cleaned off, or maybe a piece was worn during battle and it saved the character's life, but it took a bunch of damage, so maybe some gashes or some burn marks or something like that. So for this process, I love to use a soldering iron. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the electric soldering iron to just put some gashes into the piece to show maybe it was cut up by a sword or a dagger or something like that. And there we go. As you can see, we've added some gashes. When you're doing this process working on your own costumes, feel free to just have fun with it and tell a unique and interesting story for the piece. And there we have it. That is a quick demonstration on how some of these different tools and materials work for foam smithing and making props and armor.
These lovely daggers. Aren't these stunning? So those are those. And sometimes I upcycle them with like a random medieval festival. If I'm doing some random elf that's not from Lord of the Rings, I'll sometimes recycle old props for new costumes. And and I made this for a Lord of the Rings festival. This got quite some buzz on Instagram. So much so that a company actually took my picture of Instagram and started selling this helmet as a costume of their own design. So yeah, unfortunately that's something that happens a lot with cosplayers. And what else can I show you? Oh, so this is the first prop I ever made. As you can see, it's got a bit of battle damage. It was for my daughter for her Astrid cosplay. And yeah, as you can see, she's played with it a lot over the years, but made me promise that I won't throw it out, that I will upgrade it now that I've got better skills. So I think I'll do that for her.
Wow, I think that looks amazing. Oh, look at walk like a model. Just open your arms, close them. What do you think?
I think it's beautiful.
It is, eh?
I think it's amazing, yeah.
It is, but you know what? You're so skinny, so we'll have to adjust it if we decide on this one. And we can give you another leotard without sleeves so that this is see-through.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and we can take it in a little bit so that it's you know, body tight on you.
Definitely.
Because I think it's a little bit loose.
Yes, it
but
is.
yeah, what did you think when you looked at yourself in the mirror?
I loved it. I mean,
You
I think with the adjustments, like you're saying,
Yes.
then I'll feel like it's 100%. But I love it. I love the idea. I
So what do
really
you think? Are you a little bit confused between Avatar and this now? Because this is so much more than what you actually planned
know,
to do. Yeah.
I know. But I think I'll sleep on it.
Well, that's two cosplayers now that aren't in it for the competition, but just the hobby. And using it as a reason to get dressed up, be somebody different, and experience life in a different way, which, if you think about it, isn't really that odd of a thing after all. Cosplay lingo for today. Foam smithing. The art and skill of creating interpretations of objects, weapons, accessories, and in most cases, armor pieces that would normally be made out of metal, out of foam materials, and its many variations. Blackface refers to the practice of wearing makeup to imitate the appearance of a person of color. It is a cosplay no-no. When you're dressed up as these strong female characters, how does it make you feel?
I feel like I'm in like a different form. Like I'm like exploring like an alter ego, which is like, I think that's why, personally, why I do cosplay.
And is this your profession?
I actually do technical writing, so writing manuals and stuff for an airline, actually.
For airplane crashes?
No, for airline flying.